Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 8 of Serendipity. This one is titled Loved Up Look. I can't believe I'm actually sitting here watching my idol pose for the camera, and I'm acting so chill right now. Friggin' go me! Oh, Yin, would you mind passing my gloves to me? Deku asked politely as the makeup artist ducked in to add some makeup to his chin. You jumped up and grabbed his white gloves and then trotted on set to hand them to him. Thanks, he said gently, as you handed them over silently with a smile, and then backed off set. You turned and walked back to your seat to sit down, looking up at him as you sat. He was still gazing at you as he was pulling his right glove on, and the photographer took a photo at that exact moment to check the exposure and lighting. You glanced across at the computer to see the image that had just been captured, and your heart skipped a beat. If that photo doesn't end up on the cover of the magazine, I'm going to riot, you thought, as you swallowed thickly. He was just too gorgeous for words. At the end of the shoot, he thanked the magazine people for their time, and they in turn thanked him, packing up before leaving. Yin, would you come with me down to the coffee shop? I need a break, he said with a light chuckle, standing there still in his hero costume. Are you sure you want me to come? I mean, last time that we were seen together, the paparazzi got the wrong idea. I don't mind at all, he said with a smile, unless you'd prefer not to stir up rumours. If your boyfriend... I don't have a boyfriend, you laughed. No one wants to be with this, you gestured to yourself. You're very pretty, Yin, and you've a very sweet personality, Deku said honestly before he could stop the words coming out. You both blushed, and he looked slightly to the side while scratching his cheek nervously. Sorry, sometimes I say things I mean, he said with a very nervous chuckle. Your eyes shot back up towards him. Is he flirting with me? Is Deku flirting with me? You waited for him to correct himself, but it looked like he actually did mean to say the line, sometimes I say things I mean. So, coffee? He said again, in the most vulnerable little voice that you'd ever heard from such a masculine-looking man. Of course, I'd be stupid to turn down a date with my idol. Now it was his turn to blush. You both chuckled nervously, not really knowing what to say. You were thinking maybe that you'd gone too far by saying the word date, but he never corrected you. Nor did he confirm the date status either, so the two of you were just left in this awkward limbo of going to get coffee together. Just together. On a date, not date. There was some awkward small talk on the way, as you both obviously had each other on the mind, but neither were going to make a move, by the looks of it. You got to the shop and all eyes were on you immediately. You shrank back and Deku noticed your unease. We can go elsewhere if you're uncomfortable, he said softly as he bent his head down next to you. You could feel his breath on your ear and neck as he spoke, and goosebumps covered you instantly. No, it's okay, you replied, wanting to look at him but refraining, knowing his proximity was going to put you well and truly in his personal bubble if you did look. Maybe that's where he wanted you. He asked what coffee you wanted, and then suggested that you find a seat, and he'd be over in a second. You found a table for two and sat down, watching him as he ordered. He kept glancing across at you and blushing every time you made eye contact. There was this undeniable attraction, or was it you just reading into things? Everything seemed to be moving so quickly. You'd only known him for, 2 and a bit weeks now? Deku made his way over to you, and suddenly his professional side kicked in. Okay, now we can discuss your role as personal assistant, he said as he sat down with a smile. Oh, yes, of course, you said, straightening yourself to listen to his speech. If you like, I can ring your boss and explain that you're needed here. You would start work effective immediately, from tomorrow if possible, he said, not skipping a beat. You nodded. He continued on, explaining your role in the jobs that you would be required to do, and to you it sounded like a dream come true. You got to organise all his meet and greets, interviews, and accompany him to galas and award ceremonies. You were stoked. You both headed back to the office after coffee, and while you printed out a few more papers, Deku organised the paperwork and rang your boss to tender your resignation. By the end of your shift that day, you were officially Deku's personal assistant, and you'd been given your own office adjacent to his. By the next morning, your name and job title were on the door, and you had your own phone extension and books. Man, you work quick, you commented heartily to Deku. He laughed. Well, I've been needing an assistant, but I've just been waiting for the right one, he said with a wink. God rest my soul, he winked. The cinnamon roll winked. While you were having your heart palpitations, he turned and walked to his office. If you need me, Yin, I'm right next door. You smiled and nodded, still freaking out internally. Not wanting to let the team down, you got to work right away. getting all of Deku's booking arrangements from the front desk and asking a few questions about each so that you'd know how things were done. So you're his personal assistant? The receptionist asked with a coy smile. Yes, you replied with a giant grin. Why? No reason, but I really think that Deku likes you, the receptionist said with a smirk. He's been acting different ever since you came on the scene. Really? You asked. She nodded. You guys make the cutest couple too, can I just say? And there is the end of chapter 8. Stay tuned for chapter 9 coming tomorrow.